Marcus, you end up late in the ball game in man coverage with Arizona's fastest player, and you make the play right there. What's it like being that guy, knowing that more times than not, when their track star out there on the football field, you're the guy that has to defend it?
Well, you know, I just was making the play and doing my job. The play came my way. My job was to get him on the ground before he got to the first down marker, and that's all I did.
Zach said that he felt Saturday was the best game Sean Preston's played in his career. Look, you guys have been here for a while. Just your guys' relationship and how you've seen him embrace this starting role in these first two games.
Well, I'm proud of him. You know, that's something that we needed in this room, especially after week 1. We have to build upon that and have a better game as a secondary. So all of us need to step up to the plate, and he was one of them that for sure did that.
Now, your guys' just relationship is,
you know, Sean and our relationship are pretty strong. You know, he's one that had experience in the secondary, and me and him just continue to build off each other and letting each other grow.
Zach was talking about after the game Saturday that the players overcame his coaching, and he was taking a lot of accountability in here just a few moments ago, saying that things that he thought he could have done better and that he was going to address it with the team. As a new first-year head coach, I mean, what does it kind of mean to you to see your coach kind of take that kind of accountability, not just privately but kind of publicly?
Well, as a player, I kind of feel the opposite. I feel like we're out there on the field, so we have to be able to make plays and we have to be able to adjust. It only goes so far. Like you said, players win games, but players can also lose games. So you have to be able to take that accountability for yourself. And we could have played a much better game. We could have finished better. So we just have to be more consistent as a group.
And that Jet was just named SEC Defensive Player of the Week. I mean, what's it like playing with him, and what does he mean to this defense and to you?
Well, that just makes my job easier. It's always helpful to have a linebacker like that to put pressure on the quarterback, because that makes your job easy as a safety. So I wouldn't want to have a better linebacker to play for. I love playing with Jet. He's a great player, and like I said, it just makes my job easier.
Danny?
Also, piggyback off John's question he asked about Jet, but just talk about Jet and both his linebackers, probably two the best in the Southeastern Conference on your team. Just talk about how they make the secondary's job a little bit easier.
Yeah, man, two best linebackers in the country. I love playing behind those guys. Two great leaders. Wouldn't want to play with anybody else. They make my job easier. They fight hard. They're tough. You want to play with somebody that's going to give effort on each and every play, and you can definitely trust those two guys.
Arizona had some success there, late in the second quarter and then into the second half, with some big, passes downfield. What are some of the things you think went into some of those breakdowns back there, and what you guys can clean up moving forward?
We just need to be more locked in. We were aware that they were going to make plays. We just have to be more consistent and be able to play together as a team and as a secondary.
Marcus, late in the game the other night in overtime, I think it was. Losing my mind here. Chris Keys came in the game, and you guys had to what kind of goes through that process? Games on the line, you got to put him in the right position to help coach him up. Just kind of take us through those overtime plays.
Yeah, you have to be ready when your number's called. Chris Keys was always ready when his number was called. And he got in and made plays, and I told him afterwards, I'm proud of you, because he's been putting in the work all week consistently. And Coach been preaching, especially in our secondary, you never know when your number's going to get called. So, we had Hunter Washington come out. He came in and stepped up to the plate and made plays when we needed it. So that came up big time for us.
Coming off of a tough win against Arizona this past Saturday, how do you guys take just the momentum and kind of a growing up moment, I guess, for you guys early on in the season, having a tough win? How do y'all carry that into the opening week of conference play with a tough LSU team coming in here?
Well, you have to get better each and every week. We said that from the first game. We have to get better for Arizona, and now we have to get better for LSU. It's just going to continue to get tougher, especially when we come into SEC play. So we knew we were going to be in the dogfight versus Arizona. We knew it was going to be a tough game. So it wasn't a surprise to us that it went for that long, because we already seen it coming. So now building off this week, we have an LSU opponent that's a great opponent we have a lot of respect for. So now we have to keep that same mindset and build that momentum up, and we have to start. It starts this week at practice. We have to start strong, we have to finish strong, but that starts today. So we have to expect another tough game, and we have to just keep on building that throughout the week.
Will, Brian, Stefan, and Steve.
You and Hunter both played cornerback in college and then moved to safety here at Mississippi State. Being a former corner, do you feel like that gives you an advantage in matchups in coverage, or is that something where just describe the dynamic of being a former corner but now playing at safety?
Well, it makes you more versatile. You know, at corner, you're on the island a lot, you know, so you have to be able to cover, you know, great receivers. You have to be able to have great technique. You have to be able to know what the safeties are doing, because they have an area, and you have to be able to trust what they're doing as well. So you have to be able to know what they're doing in the defense. So as a safety, now I understand what the corner's doing. Now I understand what the bulldog is doing on defense. Now I understand what the field safety is doing. And now Hunter, he knows kind of like everywhere in the back end. So when you're playing safety, you know, it's not as much, it's a lot more space. So you get to understand that the more you play. So it's helped me to grow my game and develop my game more mentally, so I understand what more and more people are doing around me.
Will was just in here talking about how, you know, you like to beat the great quarterbacks, not just average quarterbacks. Does that, you know, get the defense excited, even though it's a challenge going up against a guy like Jaden Daniels and LSU?
Yeah, for sure. That's why you play this game, man. You play the game to beat the great teams and to beat the great quarterbacks, like you said. We're going up against a great quarterback, and it's going to be a great challenge for us, especially facing two scrambling quarterbacks back to back. So it's good we had that challenge last week versus Arizona. Now we face another great scrambling quarterback, and we have to be able to contain him and match on to our receivers and coverage.
Because you mentioned playing those great games. This weekend, these are the kind of games you come to the Southeastern Conference to play. And how important is it for you guys to have a decided home field advantage where you got, you know, 60,000 people there with cowbells, and you got a great LSU team in your backyard?
Well, like I said, it's a great challenge for us. This is why you come to the SEC. This is why you play this game, for games like this. You know, it has to mean a lot to you, and good games like this is about, it comes down to who really wants some more. And, you know, I put my team versus anybody in the country. I feel like we're a tough team, and when we're at our best, we can beat anybody in the country. So I'm looking forward to this team. I'm looking forward to LSU. We have a lot of respect for them, and it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Yeah, Marcus, with you and Hunter and Sean, all three of you have plenty of experience in college football, but not a ton of starts before this year. So how do you say the three of you are helping one another out and sort of learning on the fly within this defense and really growing a lot these last couple of weeks?
Well, we trust our coaches. You know, you got to be able to trust your coaches and trusting the development that we've been given. We trusting the scheme. You know, being able to just trust your players too. You have to be able to trust what they're doing beside you and every day at practice. You know, we all trust each other. So that's the main thing, and you just continue to develop. You continue to grow, and we're growing and developing and getting better each